Alright, back with another update on the Slick. So, life has still been busy, but I finally did get a maiden on her, and it went perfect. It had no bad tendencies. I put in 6 clicks of up because as I knew it was going to be a little bit nose heavy from the way Pilot had it balanced. So that was perfectly what I expected, but other than that, she flew great. So I've got a handful of flights on her now, and I am still working on the center of gravity. So as you remember, I had to put 10 ounces of weight on the front of this to get it to balance where Pilot recommended the CGB. So I've been slowly moving the battery around, and I've been able to remove some of the weight, and I'm really happy about that. So after the first flight, or first couple of flights, I was able to move the battery around, and I got the battery where it is now, all the way back up against the wing tube. So with that, I decided, okay, I'll remove some weight and then I can move the battery forward again, and that'll let me slowly take off this weight until I can get the up trim off of the elevator and get it flying neutral. So how I did that, because I did it more precisely the first time, and this time I did it a little bit more loosely because of how much I was able to take off pretty easily the first time. So the first time, what I did is I set the whole plane up, found where the center of gravity was, and marked that with tape. Then I came back and I moved the battery where I was going to reset it to, and I added weight to the back until I found that it was pretty close to the CG I had, and that told me how much weight I could take off and still be right about the CG that I was currently at. So a little bit of an example of that. So this time I didn't fully set it up, but I just marked it without the wing, without the canopy, but just as is, and it gave me a relative CG. So what I mean by that is, if you look under here, I've got this tape set up right here. So with the battery where I had my last flight, which was all the way up against the wing tube, that is where I could put my finger and have the fuselage balance. So that gave me my relative CG. So then I took my battery out, put it back to where I'll start my next flight, which is about at the end of this tape. So I kind of tuck this up like it would be in flight. And then back here, so the weights on this are here, and that's about 13 inches from the center of gravity. So I went 13 inches back, and you can see right down there, I added 2 ounces of weight. So that should tell me that it kept my relative CG in the same place. So that tells me with my battery here, I should be able to take 2 more ounces off the front and start my flight, and I shouldn't have any bad characteristics. It shouldn't be overly tail heavy. It shouldn't go crazy on me. It should be just really close. So that's how I did it the first time. I did a little bit more precise with the wing and everything, but I used that technique where I found my center of gravity and then I added some weight to the back until it kind of balanced out. So that first time I pulled 2 ounces off. This time I'll pull another 2 ounces off and see how that goes. I expect it shouldn't go crazy. It should be fully manageable, but I'm hoping I can take some of the trim off. So I had 3 flights. I made the weight change. I came back with 2 more flights this last weekend, and I was not able to take any of the trim off. It flew great and it had a shift, but it wasn't enough of a shift that I could take the trim off. So on my controller, when I hit 1 click of trim, that's actually 2 numbers on the trim. So I could take the trim off, and then it would nose down, and I could put it back on. It was nose up, so it was somewhere right between 1 click. So I'm hoping I can get a full click off here and start to see how this flies. So right now, when I flip inverted, the nose goes to the ground because I've got that little bit of up trim in it. So I'm trying to take that out without the plane getting just overly wild when it starts just purely rotating around that center of gravity. So I'm just taking it really slow and gonna see how it goes, and then once I get my CG set, then I'll start doing some mixing for knife edge so it'll hold it really nice. So that's my quick update. But yes, I finally got my maiden, yay, and I'm really happy about taking some weight off the nose of this, getting the entire model just lower in weight, closer to a native weight with no extra weight on the nose. That would be ideal. Right now, my center of gravity is about a 1/2 inch aft of where pilot says or recommended it should be. So super excited. I'll keep updating you guys as I do stuff, but I'd love it if I could get all of that weight off. I don't know if I'll make it that far, but stay tuned and we'll see where it goes. See ya.